All right. According to OBS, we are live, but I'm going to test that because last week we weren't live. It does appear that we are live though, so I'm seeing a stream within a stream. So that's good. I'm going to do the usual Twitter thing. We get the Twitch URL. Sendig. Let's get that wrong. Tuesday live stream, sending block theme development. Okay, that's posted. Welcome to the folks who have joined. It doesn't look like Emily and Aruba are joining me this week, so I hope they are both well. This week I am going to continue where I left off last week, which was figuring out the whole block edit generate class names functionality of the 10up block components registered block extension hook, I think it is. So last week I was having some errors. So this week I'm going to try and fix those errors and see if we can get the direction thing set up. So let me hop into my WordPress admin. And see what's what. Now, I'm going to do something that I don't often do on these live streams. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And the main reason for that is I find when I run the live streams and when I do online workshops, I work at a resolution of 1920 by 1080, which I'm finding, oh, and this theme is not active at the moment, so let's figure that out. I'm finding that to be either I'm getting old, but I'm finding it to be a little bit difficult on my sort of visual perception when I'm editing something. There's a lot going on the screen, and I want to be able to have the list view open, and I want to be able to have DevTools open. Let me open that quickly. So in order to allow myself a bit more screen resolution to figure that out, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I hope everybody can still see what's going on when I zoom out a little bit. I'm going to go to 80% of full screen. That gives me enough white space so that I can see what's happening. I hope everybody else can still see that. And then what I've done in the, got some console logs happening, so I want to just comment those out for a second. And I'm going to need to run my development environment. So let's get that up and running. Themes, Sendig, npm run start. As far as I remember, yeah, there we go. Alrighty, I'm also going to just move something around on my screen that you can't see what I'm doing right now. But I want some of these docked windows to be elsewhere. There we go, that's better. What I've just done, you can't see this, but I've moved the chat window to a place where I'm more likely to see it if you chat with me. So it's on my side screen right next to what I'm working on. So if something changes there, I should know about it pretty quickly. Okay, so let's refresh this. All right, no console logging going on. There we go. All right. So now I want to work with this. So last week we added these buttons. Currently the buttons don't really do anything. Hey Mark. So the block extension edit calls the block edit function, which is this one over here. It receives some props or properties. So I want to just console log and inspect those, so I can see exactly what's in there and what I'm working with. And then it returns, and this is the class name generator, which I think also something just beeped at me and I don't know what it was, and I hate it when that happens. Wasn't anything there. I hate it when I have a beeping sound and I don't know where it come from. Anyway. Okay, you all probably didn't hear it. It's probably something locally, some notification or something. Hey, Emily. Yes, more than welcome to join Passively and Work. You're more than willing. No, that's the wrong word. More than welcome to do that. I don't mind at all, but I'm glad you've joined us and I'm glad you're well. That's my biggest concern when folks don't join is, are they okay? So glad to see you around. Okay, so I have a feeling that this generate class names also gets fired. So I want to just console log those attributes. Just verify my understanding of things here. So let's refresh. Okay, so things are definitely happening. So now I need to actually give this a little bit of more information. So I like to use this object notation, and you can say something like this. You can go generate class names, and then you can pass it in the value, and then that'll log that whole object. And then it's easier to determine where your console log is firing. So let's do that up over here as well. And we'll say this is in block edit and props. There we go. So that'll give me a little bit more information. Okay, maybe that beeping is people following me, because maybe my followers just went up by 2, possibly. I don't know. All right, here we go. Okay, so generate class names is being triggered, but block edit is not. That makes sense, because I would expect that block edits only be triggered when I actually do something. So when I actually trigger the edit method of this extension. So that will be when we click on one of these 2 buttons. So let's verify that. Oh, that doesn't actually seem to do that. Interesting. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay, yes, here we go. This is what happens when you haven't looked at your code in so long. That's right. So I've got the on-click on the buttons, which is triggering this. And this is then probably a hook on the edit function of the block. It then probably triggers this. Okay, that makes sense. So I probably need to pass these props to the click handler event, I think, because I don't think they're available. Yeah, they won't be available, so they probably get passed. I wonder what. I'm gonna have to figure this out. Okay, let's have a look. So they probably are receiving some props, but which props I'm not sure. So let's find out. Because if you're wondering what I'm talking about, ultimately, this is just a function, in this case, argument, which receives something. So these props are probably the block edit props, and these props are probably specific to the button, I guess. So let's see if I'm right. So let's do that there. It's always good to know. I wonder if you can pass these. Thinking probably not. Let's do that. My thumbnail is covered. Oh, okay. Yes, that's probably because Google Meet did something. So let's do that. There we go. There's me again. Thanks for that, Elliot, for pointing that out. Usually I do a Google Meet with Aruba and Emily. They're not joining me today, so that's probably what the beeping was. Thank you. The beeping was Google Meet saying to me, hey, nobody else is here. Can you tell how often I use Google Meet? Okay, let's carry on here. Okay, so that's doing all of that. So let's see what that does. Absolutely. Okay, let's reload. And here we go. Generate class names. That's great. Okay, so that's firing when the edit function is called. Okay. So then let's clear that. Let's go in here. Let's go and click on some buttons. Okay. Okay, so handle click left doesn't seem to receive any props. Okay. So now I want to see what happens if I do this. And I want to see if those props are in scope. Because maybe they are. So now I'm expecting to see those props. So let's see what that does. Okay. Okay. It looks like it is possible, and that does make sense because in the scope of this function, this variable called props, could call it whatever I want, is the blocks properties. And it then makes sense that the function within inside that scope will be able to work with that property. So that's perfectly fine. So that's what I expect. So there are some attributes. It has class name. It has flip direction. Okay. And then there is the set attributes method. Set attributes. Okay. So that's probably what I did wrong. It's props set attributes. Has flip direction. Has flip direction. It defaults to right because I think I've set it up here as right. It should probably I suppose that is right if it's going from left to right. Yeah, that makes sense. So if you click on left, then it should flip it left. So that makes sense. Okay. And then down here, it'll be props set attributes. Has flip direction right. Okay, so that makes sense. And then in the generate class names, does that get... Now what's interesting is that doesn't get called after the click. So I wonder if all I should do is return. So let's just go back here. Generate class names has the class name and has flip direction. But when I click on the click, it doesn't re-render that. So it's not going to actually do anything. But maybe it will when the attribute is changed. Let's just do that for now. Because this is how React renders. Like you make a change to something and then it calls a additional functions. Let me check that. Yes, there we go. You see, it did that. So let's go back a step. My brain needs to see these things happen. That's why I like the console logs. So let's do this. Let's do console log handle click left. We'll just leave it as handle click left. We don't need the properties at that point. I just need to see the handle click left fire. And I just need to see the handle click right fire. I'm happy that it's doing what it needs to do. I could also actually output the flip direction. That might be a better way to do it. Oh, good grief. I've been using a Mac for going on 2 years now and I still can't get the keyboard shortcuts right. Okay, so that does look like it then triggers generate class name. So let's say that we want to log the has flip direction. There. That'll give us some information. Okay. So we refresh. Okay, so right. Okay, cool. I wonder if I need to put in some kind of check there if it's only doing this on the change. I don't know. Okay, so we click left. Handle click left, right. Handle click right doesn't trigger. Interesting. Okay. So handle click left should have changed it to left, but at this point it was still right. Interesting. I wonder if that's because the class name hasn't been applied. So when the class name gets applied, it probably re-renders the... See, there it did again, because I clicked on it. Yeah, so the class name needs to be applied. So let's do that. Let's... From what I remember in the documentation, we have to return something. So let's return that. That'll then update the class name. And should then re-render it and should then do something. Let's see. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to pour my coffee. Made myself a coffee just before the live stream. I make a fresh pot of coffee and it keeps me going. Yes, I'm a developer. I drink coffee. Ooh, errors. Errors are fun. Let's dive into errors. Need coffee for errors. Cannot read properties of undefined has flip direction. Okay. Interesting. So it gets it and then it... Let's spell it wrong. No. Okay. Oh, good grief. Switching from PHP to JavaScript. PHP uses... There's probably a better way to write this, like some kind of string concatenation. Let me actually do that now when I think about it. JavaScript string concat. There's probably some function. Yeah. Text concat text 2. Yeah, okay. So has flip direction. Can you just concat two strings? Concat. No, it has to be a string. I'm going to leave it like that for now. Okay. I could set it up, I guess, as a variable and then concatenate it. Okay, so now we're getting validation errors. That's fine. Validation errors I can live with. Let's clear this out. Validation errors I can live with because those are just the difference between save and not save. Click left. That's still right. Doesn't seem to be doing what I wanted to do. Wonder if I need to do a hard reload. This is getting the right direction, so that's good. So look here. Something is not happy. I feel like this is the problem. I wonder. Let me go back to the register block extension documentation. Now let's go to the block components package. I'm not finding that documentation to be okay, let's have a look here. Register block extension. Okay. Which produce class names or inline styles to any block. There are a few problems. Nice to extend the block with custom settings. Process reaching attributes, modifying the block's edit function, adding the new class name inline style to editor listing, and also adding to the front end. I feel like I need to call something. Extension name we've got. Attributes we've got. Class name generator we've got. I don't think we need the inline style generator. Order. The order in which the extension should be called in relation to the original block edit component. Can be before or after. defaults to after. I feel like we're close. I wonder if it's actually changing the class. Let's have a look. Could be the fact that the validation is failing. It's another option. So look here. So there's the horizontal rule. Ugh. Has flip direction right. So that's currently being applied. So if I change it to left, it doesn't change it to left. It doesn't update the new class name. I wonder if there's a problem with... Maybe my class name is wrong? Maybe I need to... I don't know. That seems wrong. Let's try it and see. Yeah, that broke. What did it? Maybe it didn't. No, that's definitely wrong because I don't want that there. So it's definitely applying it. Okay, if I take this away now, then I wonder if it's just a case of calling generate class names. Maybe? Okay, let me just refresh this. Okay, so it does have the has flip direction now. Okay, so this isn't being fired the first time it loads. So maybe it really just is a simple case of calling generate class names with the attributes. Maybe? I mean, feels kind of weird to do that, but it also maybe feels right. So let's see what happens. Let's go back to the console. Block validation I'm not too worried about right now, because I feel like once I get this problem resolved, that will go away. Okay, well that didn't throw any errors. Still right. Does it change? No. No. Wait. I wonder if it actually needs to change. Like it actually needs to... But the... no. Something needs to be triggered. See, that's happening because of automatic save. I need to do what I'm doing. Feel like I'm missing something. No, I'm not going to lie. This is one of these reasons why these live streams are unprepared. Function that gets passed to the attributes of the block to generate a class name string. It's passed to the attributes. Does your handle click left, right? No, because what it's doing is it's receiving the props from the block editor, and then I'm setting an attribute have flip direction left or right. So it doesn't need a value to be passed to it. It's updating the attributes because I'm calling this. We can check that. That's actually a good thing to do. So let's check that that is being updated. So let's go console log props attributes. Maybe they're not being updated. There, Hasler direction is not being updated. My music just stopped for some reason. Apparently I have 2 instances of Spotify open. Let me try that again. There we go. Just went again. Or is it me? Anyway. Okay, so it's not updating the attributes. So I'm doing something wrong somewhere. I'm calling this incorrectly. Don't laugh. I'm gonna go look at my own content on Learn WordPress now. Using block attributes. There we go. Block props. Sure. Oh. Hang on. Hey there. Shut up. I'm allowed to tell myself to shut up. Attributes. looking for code snippets here. Edit attributes, attributes heading. Am I setting? I'm probably not setting attributes though. No, I am. There, set attributes. Function. Fish. So now that works because I'm calling use block props here. Like I'm not using set attributes properly. It's just to display that. Excuse me. You need to retrieve the block attributes from props. Assume that the custom attributes need a custom attribute, and you want to add a custom class if the attributes custom class value is true. See, that's what I think that's what I'm doing there, Emily. There are the attributes there, but the problem is the attributes there don't seem to be updated. No, good grief. Yeah. See, now this is just the same as what I'm doing. I'm just doing it slightly differently. I don't expect this to work any differently, but let's try it. Maybe it'll work. Basically, I'm just destructuring attributes and set attributes from that props object. So basically I can just do that, and then I can just do that. Wonder if I need to pass these two into this function. This makes sense though. Do a quick check on my block controls. I wonder if I need to pass a value. That's probably what I need to do. Okay, so let's wrap the block controls in a div that uses the block props hook. I don't even need to do that. Yeah, I probably do. Actually, let me change that. That's probably what I need to do. Needs a value. And the value is whatever the value is. And it will be attributes as flip direction. Yeah. get the new alignment, and I set it to the new alignment, or the new flip direction. So if we say so we pass the new value. All I'm really doing is passing the I'm just passing this. But maybe giving it the value is what makes the difference. What we should be able to do though is handle alignment and then make this one function, which might be a bit better. So we say handle alignment, we say new alignment, and then set attributes. Okay, maybe alignment is the wrong thing. Handle flip direction. Let's do it that way. Okay, and then set attributes. Yeah, let's do it this way because then it's undefined none or left or right or whatever. If it's undefined, then make it right, otherwise make it the new flip direction. Let's see if that makes a difference. I think I need to import use block props from WordPress block editor. I feel like maybe that's where I've gone wrong. So I'm not passing those properties in the buttons. So let's see what that does. Okay. Oh, now I'm getting 2. All right, let's see what happens. Still not doing what I wanted to do. Something I'm doing wrong somewhere. I've got this link that Emily shared. So now this is the more sort of WordPress core way. Using the higher order components. I don't feel like rewriting this now. I feel like I'm so close. Looks like use block props has broken things because I've got 2 horizontal rules, which is interesting. So attributes are available there, so maybe I can do that. Maybe I'm allowed to do that. One horizontal rule at least. This is probably like value or something. Ah, what am I doing? No. That's what that does. No, not alignment. Has flip direction full. Like the wrong thing is being passed there. I wonder if that's because I'm going to try using this const way of doing things. Maybe my function is wrong. So this is like the new sort of more modern JavaScript. So I'm going to try this. Just leave that as none for now. Commit this out. Now it's not doing anything. Dear. Oh, because didn't copy over the console logs. Believe it or not, I'm having fun doing this. It might feel like I'm not, but I actually am, because I've never done this before. So that's interesting. Doing something wrong somewhere. I'm not passing something correctly. see what the values are on the controls. Right, this is in a template part, isn't it? So I'm going to need to go to value is an object. That seems wrong. That seems wrong. Let's have a look here. Attributes, type reading default false. I wonder if I'm accessing the attributes incorrectly. That could explain things. Hmm. There it's right, but there it isn't. Something is conflicting some way. I wonder if it's because I'm using it here. Hmm. Doing something wrong somewhere because you see that Haslett direction is changing from a string to an object. Something I'm doing somewhere, I'm doing something wrong. I bet you it has to do with the set attributes here. Well, now it's not being updated. Okay. So let me just see if I can just update it to a string, which was what I was doing earlier. Just make it left for now. It starts off right, let's just make it left. That there is what worries me. And then okay. There it is updated to left. The value is supposed to be passed to that function. Maybe not. Maybe that's not how the button works. That could be it. The button might not work that way. Maybe buttons don't have values. That's probably what it is. Button click passes the entire button object. Then I would have expected the left and the right that we did earlier to work. Okay. So now I'm wondering if maybe using the button component was the wrong thing. I'm starting to think that I need to look for the right component that allows me to select direction. It's probably something like a toggle of some kind. Maybe not toggle control. And a snack bar. Range control, no. Excuse me. So I think I need to dive into the current components and find the right one. So in other words, the actual component that when you render, let's pop the media thing in. Stick it up here. So let's say insert before. When you add the media and text, show media on left, show media on right. Perhaps this is a specific component as opposed to just a button. And maybe that's the way to do it. Data toolbar item components. See, it does just say button component there. Is pressed, has icon, so maybe it is. Maybe I need to dig into the media and text component. See how that code works. Feel like I'm getting closer than what I was last week. So we've now hit the hour. I do feel like I know more than I did last week. I do wish I wasn't doing this for an hour every week and then a week gap in between. I think next week what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and dive into the media and text component a bit more. I wonder if it's in the... Where was that? Is it in here? No, probably not. Because it's not a component, it's a block. That's right. It's a block. So I wonder if this is in... Let's have a look here. Aruba's wp-helpers.dev. So it's the icon library, the core blocks explorer. So if we say media and text. See, it has its own attributes. Media position. Maybe this is where I need to start looking. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to dig into the media and text component, and I'm going to see how it works and see what I can figure out. But that's for next week. I'm getting closer. I feel like I'm getting closer. Yeah, this wasn't Success Emily. This was me playing the wrong blocks. But I do feel like I'm getting closer. I do feel like seeing something. I'm seeing something that at least is doing something, but it shouldn't be passing in that object. It should be getting the value, the string value. So I'm going to leave it there for now. And I will pick this up next week. At least I'm not getting any errors right now. So that's a good thing. But that's me for today, folks. I feel like once I've figured this out, then, and I understand this, then a lot of what I've been trying to learn about this, and I'm I'm thinking I need to look at this from the core perspective as well. So I'm going to read Nick's post offline, and maybe the core way of doing things. I do. This is one, and this is not a knock against the 10up folks, but this is one area where having an example of how this works would be wonderful. So maybe I'll look for some examples as well and see what I can figure out. But okay, that's me for today, everybody. I hope you've learned something. If you haven't, that's fine. I've learned a few things today, but thank you all for joining me. And I'll see you all next week. Bye.